Alright, Karina baby. For the 4th of July, it's Independence Day on the 4th of July. So, it is the Independence Day Parade. Today is Independence Day, the day of the parade. Police Chief Fox is busy leading the procession down High Street. This way, he says, marching proudly in his head of the parade. He is followed by the troop of drums and the sharp uniforms, the fire department and a shiny new fire engine, and a truck full of dainty dancers in costumes, a ragtag tiger band playing jazz, a funny car full of clowns squirting water, and a bus load of monkeys waving flags, and a damp truck filled with balloons, and the town band marching on behind. Tantera, tantera, boom boom, boom 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 boom. Tantera, 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 boom 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 boom. There they go. There he is, he's leading them. Alright, baby. We're gonna do the rest of Aesop's Fables. Alright, let's start off with the Travelers and the Gold Coin. The Travelers and the Gold Coins. Two traveler companions were walking along the road when one of them spread the leather sack lying on the dirt. Pick it up, he discovered that it was heavy with gold coins. What luck, he explained. I found a treasure. Don't you mean we've found a treasure? Asked the companion. Didn't we agree to share all our fortunes on the road? You're a fool if you think I'm going to share this, retorted the first traveler. I am the one who found it, and it's mine to keep. Just then the two heard a mob of angry people up ahead. Stop! Thief! Bring back that gold! They cried out, running towards the travelers, waving axes and short staffs of wood. We're done for, grieved the man who had found the purse. They'll be sure to think we're thieves. They'll kill us both. Oh no, said the companion. You found the gold, not me. Remember, it's yours to keep. If you don't share your good luck, don't expect to share your bad. That is so very true. If you're not able to share your good fortunes with people, don't expect to share your bad fortunes with people either. You have to be fair. Like that story we read earlier with, you know, the water and the fire and the wind who didn't save him because he wasn't nice, right? So you'd have to just be kind, be loving to everybody around you. I don't care who's around you. Be kind and loving. Alright, so the Boasting Traveler. Remember how Mama used to read you the very boastful kangaroo, and the kangaroo thought he could jump the highest and the little one won? The Boastful Traveler. A man who had traveled to distant lands returned to his hometown. He stood in the marketplace boasting of his adventures. He has climbed the highest mountains, sailed in the deepest seas, and visited the most magnificent cities. But the most amazing thing of all, he declared, was when a foolish man there challenged him to a jumping contest, and I made the longest, most splendid leap that was ever seen. Why, no one else in the world has ever jumped so far. You can ask anyone there, and they'll tell you the same. One of the crowd grew tired of the travelers bragging. There's no need to ask anyone at all, he called out. Just make the same leap here, and we'll see with our own eyes how far you can jump. Deeds count more than words. Your deeds will always count more than words. Always have good actions towards everyone. Be nice and have good deeds, right? This man is just, that's why Mama doesn't like to boast. Like, we got a new car. We got the 2009 new to us car. We paid $2,500 for a Ford Explorer that we had. And your papa was like, well, call Shannon and tell her. And I was like, He's like, why don't you boast about anything? There's no need to boast or brag about anything. Everyone has what it is that they're looking for. You are the one that you're looking for in this entire world, right? You could have all the riches and all the glories in the entire world, but if your heart isn't where it needs to be, you're never going to be content. Just like the farmer and his wife, or the fisherman and his wife, that woman wanted to be able to rule the sun and the moon, right? And the fish was like, oh no, she deserves that jug. She's never going to be content within herself. She doesn't have that ability to just be like, I'm okay today. I'm going to be okay today. This is going to be okay in the end. You have to be content with your own situation and where you are and who you are. And Karina, baby, I know you're a lot like me. You talk like me. You act like me. You're a lot like me. And I don't want you to get rolled over by other people. At the same time, though, I want you to be kind and gracious to everyone around you. Alright, the ant and the dove. A dove in flight spied an ant struggling in the creek below, near to drowning. In pity, she lowered her blade of grass into the water, so that the ant might cling onto it. Friend, you have saved my life, the ant said, gratefully, as he was led safely to shore. Beside the creek stood a hunter who rose his bow and took aim for the dove. Seeing his rescuer in danger, the tiny ant crawled up the hunter's boot and stung the hunter on his leg. With a cry of pain, the hunter let his arrow fly off the mark, and the drove was free from danger. One good turn deserves another. So, she saved her little ant friend, and then the ant friend saved her. Isn't that amazing? The dog and the bone. A dog carried a bone, looked over the edge of the bridge, and saw his own reflection in the water below. Look at that dog, he thought. Why, the bone he's carrying looks much bigger than mine, juicier too, and full of meat. If only I could have that bone as well. If I bark as loud as I can, maybe that will scare him into dropping his bone and running away. But as he opened his mouth to bark, his own bone fell with a splash into the river, leaving the foolish dog with nothing at all. Don't give up what's real for what isn't real. Don't give up for what's real to you for what's not real to you. That's very true. The Lion and the Gnat. How dare you disturb my rest, the lion growled at the gnat who buzzed too close to his twitching ear. Be off before I crush you into dust. Brave words, jarred the tiny gnat, but I'm not afraid of you. For all your boasting, you'd never dare to meet me in battle. With a rage of war, the lion lunged at the gnat, but the tiny insect swooped easily between his claws and flew to sting him on the nose. The lion swatted him, but managed only to scratch and tear at his own face. Again and again the gnat bit the lion. Again and again the lion drew his own blood, trying to capture his enemy. At last, exhausted and in pain, the lion bowed. Enough, I surrendered. At the least of our enemies can be the deadliest. Alright? The least of our enemies can be the deadliest. Now, this is only if you want to make an enemy, or, you know, like, there's no such thing really as a, like, in my, like, enemies, show them love. That's all they need anyway. They just need love. Don't let them throw you away, but show them love. The Wolf and the Shepherd. As a wolf lay hidden near the shepherd's home, he smelled a rich, mouth-watering fragrance in the air. Creeping close to the window, he saw the shepherd and his family feasting together on roasted mutton. If I catch and eat one of those sheep, the wolf cried, they set the dogs on me. But here they are doing the very same thing themselves. We often condemn others for what we see no wrong in doing ourselves. So they set the dogs on the wolves because they want to save their sheep so they could eat them themselves. Right? The Oak and the Reeds. A magnificent oak stood proudly by a quiet pool, and as its feet grew, a cluster of modest slender reeds. However, a great wind blew. The tree stood as strong as a mountain, reaching its limbs high into the sky, but the reeds would bend and bow low to even the gentlest breeze. No wind can ever make me bow my head, the proud oak boasted. Wait and see, whispered the reeds as they swayed with the wind. Wait and see. Soon there came a furious storm. The reeds were shaken and tossed in the gouts. First this way, then that way, the mighty oak still tall and straight, defying the storm. But the winds came faster and faster, and at last the oak's roots were torn from the ground. It fell with a terrible crash. When the storm passed and the morning light came, the reeds stood tall again. You see, they said softly to the fallen oak, we bowed to the wind, and we survived. You resisted and perished. It is better to bend than to break. How true is that? Look at that face on that oak tree. He is down on the ground. He looks sad, right? See his face? His face right there. There he is. The Rooster and the Fox. One evening at sunset, a rooster flew up to his favorite perch in a tall pine tree. He had barely tucked his head beneath his wings when he heard something stirring below, and peered out and saw a fox sitting on the ground, panting excitedly. Hello, friend Rooster. Have you heard the news? The fox called out. What news? Asked the rooster suspiciously. A trance has been declared, replied the fox. All the animals have chosen to live in peace. Even the lion and the wolf agreed. I came at once to tell you. Won't you come down so we may embrace as true friends at last? But the rooster was too old and too wise to trust the fox so easily, and he declared to put the fox's words to the test. Why, of course I'll come to you, the rooster answered, but tell me, friend fox, did the dog agree to the trance as well? Of course, answered the fox, licking his lips. Then those two dogs that I can see from here, remarked the rooster, turning his neck, must be coming to celebrate with us. This way, over here, he called loudly. Dogs, oh my! Stammered the fox. I'm afraid I can't stay. My children are waiting for me at home. We must celebrate another time. And the fox was off as fast as he could run. Tricksters are easily tricked. Right? Tricksters are easily tricked. Bellowing the cat. A large family of mice made their home behind the walls of a fine old house. It would have been a life of luxury except for one thing. A cat lived in the house. A sleek and saintly hunter was glancing eyes, silent as a ghost, on her padded feet. She would pounce, capture an unlikely victim of her claws, and standing the rest fleeting for safety. At last the mice called a meeting to decide what should be done about their deadly enemy. They looked and argued for hours, until one young mouse raised his voice. Why are we wasting all this time? He cried. The answer is perfectly simple. We'll just tie a bell around the neck of the cat, and then we'll always hear him coming. Brilliant! A remarkable plan. Our troubles are over, cried the mice. But then one wise mouse, who had not spoken before, stepped forward. This is a very clear plan, he said, except for one thing, my friend. Which of us has the courage to tie a bell around the cat? Brave words are easier than brave deeds. Brave words are a lot easier than brave deeds, huh? Sometimes you have to put your words to the truth, though. I mean, Mama used to always say, I'd much rather have something happen to me than to any of you. And I kept my word. Sometimes you just have to keep your word. And it's just the way it is. The Mermaid and the Woodcutter. A woodcutter had been hard at work all day, cutting down trees to sell for firewood. It was nearing sunset, but he wanted to cut one of the last trees before going home for the night. Coming across the sturdy elm that grew beside a deep pool, he set to work. But he was so tired that after a few strokes his axe slipped out of his hands and fell with a splash into the deep black water. "How could I be so careless?" the woodcutter cried. "I'll never see my axe again." And he stood by the water in despair. Now a mermaid happened to be nearby, and heard the woodcutter's lamentations. Quick as thought, the creature appeared before him and asked him what was wrong. "I've lost my axe in the water," the woodcutter groaned. "I can't afford to buy another, and now my children will go hungry. What can I do?" "Wait here," the mermaid replied, as she dove to the bottom of the pool. When she came back to the surface, he held out his hand an axe made of pure gold. "Is this the axe you lost?" the mermaid asked the woodcutter. "No, that one isn't mine," the honest man answered. The mermaid drove down again to the bottom pool and came up with a shining silver axe. "Then this one must be yours," she said. "No, that one's not mine either," sighed the woodcutter. "Mine was just a plain iron axe with a wooden handle." For a third time the mermaid dove to the bottom of the pool, and this time she came up with an old worn iron axe. "That's the one," cried the woodcutter joyfully. "How can I ever thank you, my friend?" said the mermaid. "Oh, how can I ever thank you?" "My friend," said the mermaid, "your honesty deserves a reward. Take all 3 axes home with you, and your children will never go hungry again." When the delightful woodcutter reached home, he told his family what had happened. Now Woodcutter had a brother who, when he heard the story, said to himself, "Why should my foolish brother have better luck than me? Tomorrow I'll try the same trick. I'll come home wealthy too." The next day the woodcutter's brother went to the same pool and promptly threw his axe into the water. Immediately he began weeping and wailing, calling on the mermaid to help him. The mermaid appeared and, diving to the bottom of the pool, brought up a golden axe. "Is this one the one you lost?" she asked. "That's the one," the woodcutter's brother cried. But the mermaid let the golden axe fall back beneath the water for the dishonesty. She said, "You'll have no axe at all," and then she vanished, leaving the woodcutter's brother poorer than ever. Honesty is the best policy. It is best to be honest. It really is. Be honest with yourself. Love yourself. Right? There's Aesop's Fables. That's all of them. We got through the entire book. Alright, Karina baby. How about Lila Toe? Lila Tove, and good night to you. Lila Tove, may your dreams come true. We sing Lila Tove, may Israel protect you throughout the night until we reach the morning light. Karina baby, Mama loves you. I love you so incredibly much. I love you.